People of this country. One day, perhaps, they'll realise what he did for them, even if tonight they're glad to see him go. John Simpson, BBC News, Moscow.
John Simpson joins me now live from Moscow. John, would you say the world tonight was a rather safer place or a rather more dangerous one?
I think tonight it's a safer place. After all, the nuclear weapons are in safe hands, we know that. And I think that things like the outbreaks of violence in Georgia, though they're evil and vicious in the places where they are unlikely to spill over into the outside world or affect us. But I think in the longer run, it really does depend on whether Russia can remain a stable power as to whether the world itself will become a more dangerous place.
Because we're talking not just about a change of leader, are we? We're talking about a change of system.
Well, Mr. Gorbachev would have liked it, I think, to be a change of system. In fact, I don't think it is. I think we're really back in some ways to a change of personalities. Mr. Yeltsin is a very strong personality. That's how he's campaigned. That's how he presents himself. And he has said that if he goes wrong, and he may well go wrong, then it'll be really all down to him. I think we may find that Mr. Yeltsin is a stopgap, a stand-in, really, for lasting not more than a couple of years or so. After that, who knows?
So in the weeks and months to come, what signs should we look out for which will tell us whether Mr. Yeltsin is beginning to succeed where Mr. Gorbachev failed?
I think the first moment that we've got to watch out for is January the 2nd, when all the prices go up so rapidly. I think if Mr. Yeltsin keeps his nerve then he may have a chance of making his reforms work. Frankly, I somehow doubt it, but he may have a chance. If he loses his nerve and he tries to please people and pull back from the kind of really harsh measures that have got to be taken, then really there's no getting out of that. And I think then in the longer term, we've got to look for the rise perhaps of the right wing, the far right wing here. I don't think we're talking about danger from a military takeover. I think we'd be talking about the dangers that the far right might come to power through the ballot box.
John Simpson in Moscow, thank you very much. Christmas Day in Yugoslavia was marked by more fighting as the Serbian-led Federal Army continued its attacks near Vinkovci and Osijek. The last convoy of federal troops leaving barracks in Croatia was en route from Zagreb when it and its escort of European Community observers ran into crossfire.
Preparations for Christmas morning at a Federal Army howitzer aimed by Serbia's troops at the eastern Croatian town of Vinkovci. Daylight brought out other Serbian forces and armaments. And further along the eastern front line, Osijek Hospital reported 3 dead and up to 30 injured. Pulling out of their last barracks in Croatia, this Federal Army convoy was given safe escort to the Republic's southern border by EC monitors. Then the shooting started there.
They had an agreement with them. Okay.
With the monitors caught in the middle, sniper, machine gun and artillery fire was exchanged in a typically confused frontline skirmish. One Croat had died at this spot yesterday. Christmas, a day like any other here. Mike Donkin, BBC News, Croatia.
In her Christmas message, the Queen has spoken of the bewildering speed of change over the past year in the former Eastern Bloc countries. She hoped the West would be able to help those coming to terms with democracy.
The peoples of the former Soviet Union and Eastern Europe have broken the mold of autocracy. I hope that we will be able to help them as they learn that the democracy which has replaced it depends not on political structures, but on the goodwill and the sense of responsibility of each and every citizen.
And that's all from the newsroom this Christmas night. From the BBC News team, a very good night to you.
A very Merry Christmas to you, and there really hasn't been very much of this across the British Isles today, but there has been some rain around up over Scotland, down to this weather front, and during the next 24 hours that'll be moving south across the country, clearing southern parts during Boxing Day afternoon. Now, you saw a change in the pattern of the isobars there, and we're going to see a change in the wind direction as well. At the moment, some very strong westerly winds. They've been gusting up to 60 miles an hour on the eastern side of the Pennines. If I run the sequence here through tonight into tomorrow, you'll see as they come round to a more northwesterly direction, the arrows getting smaller, much lighter winds by tomorrow, the strongest winds really running down the North Sea. So we'll have some rain moving south across England and Wales tonight, light and patchy, mainly in the west, rain too running up the western side of Scotland there. To the east, though, it'll be a much drier picture, I think, and down in the south, that cloud's been very thin to start off with, and that's meant temperatures have got down below freezing, so there could be a touch, the odd icy patch on the road there to start off with, but as that cloud moves south and the winds increase, so temperatures will be pulled back to around 5 Celsius by the morning. Then for Boxing Day, starting off cloudy over the southern part of the country, as you move northward, somewhat drier, brighter weather, and then during the afternoon, that rain moving away to the south, some brightness, and sun temperatures, another mild day.
Enjoy the magic of Michael Jackson on BBC1.
He's not going anywhere.
Into the world of Michael Jackson's Moonwalker on New Year's Day at 6 on BBC1.
Another jewel from this year's Christmas crown now on BBC1. African Prince Eddie Murphy finds that noblesse obliges him to swap ceremonial robes for a baseball jacket in search of true love New York style. He's coming to America.